Welcome back to a special edition. I'm going to call this a special edition, Colin. A special edition of the Here We Go podcast. We are doing an all-time Steelers draft. Colin, how are we doing today?
Not too bad, man.
I'm doing pretty good too, buddy. So just to let's throw this out there. Colin and I have done very little prep work for this, so we're going to be doing a little bit on this on the fly. So the idea is I'm gonna let Colin go first since he's the guest co-host here on the show, and then we're gonna just kind of alternate. We're not going to be going by position. You're just going to be free for all drafting this thing as if it was a regular NFL team that you're trying to build from scratch. This list was tough to narrow down, man. Like, was it tough to kind of narrow down like the guys that you were going to look for in this thing?
Yes, it was. When you have a team with so much, let's go history. When you have a team with so much history, it becomes very difficult. I mean, if this was the Carolina Panthers, it wouldn't be as difficult, right? That team's been a team for 22 seasons, and frankly, like 70% of their players have sucked. But like for us, it's like, holy shit, we have the greatest franchise of all time. We have like 3 to 4 decades of being a really good team. I mean, 80s and 2020s are probably the only two outliers there. It's just so tough. So for Pittsburgh specifically, I think we'll be able to find some very interesting teams. Probably two very different teams from the. Obviously, we've been podcasting together for coming up on a year now. I would say for sure, me and you have very different ideologies on how to build teams. Yep. To say the least, it's gotten in heated arguments at times. So I think it'll be very interesting, and I think that we'll be able to figure out some fun little teams for sure.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put you on the clock if you're ready. You get the very first pick of this thing, and we're going to let it rip from there.
Alrighty. So, all right. So let's get this going here. All right. You're going to let me get first pick.
I'm going to let you take the first pick.
All right. So, pick 1-1. Of the Colin Phillips Steelers team, I'm going to go with Big Ben Roethlisberger, quarterback out of Miami.
All right, buddy. I'm not going to lie. As much as I know AB is your GOAT, I kind of was wondering if you were going to go there with pick 1. I didn't know if AB was going to go that quick.
Well, you gave me if you gave me the second pick, it would have been a different pick. But you know,
I love it. All right. So I feel like since we're not taking backups in this draft, I feel pretty safe with I'm going to get my guy at quarterback as the second option. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take Mean Joe Green as my first pick, probably the most legendary of all of the Steelers. So he's going to be my top pick.
Yeah. It's a good pick there. I'm going to preface by saying one thing just for the audience here. So in terms of, we are doing based on their career as a Steeler. So, if a guy spent, 10 years on a team and was an all-pro, and the Steelers decide to try and recycle his career in Pittsburgh, that wouldn't be a smart pick. It has to be based on their career in Pittsburgh. And then also for personnel-wise, I am doing a 11 personnel. So the 5 offensive linemen, 1 running back, 1 tight end, 11 personnel, 3 receivers. And then for defense, I'm running a 4-2-5, a nickel package. So 4 up front, 2 linebackers, and then 5 defensive backs. So just to preface.
Yep. I'm actually doing I'm doing 11 personnel on offense as well. And then I'm going to be doing I'm running a 4-3 on the defense. So.
Cool.
All right, buddy. Well, you're back up.
All right. 11, 4-3, 11, and 4-2-5. All right. So, yeah, I mean, second overall pick, I'm going to go AB, Antonio Brown. So,
had to know it was coming off the board.
How did you know?
Had to know. So that's interesting. It leaves a ton of things wide open on this thing. I think I'm gonna go with a guy that I think is one of the greatest cornerbacks of all time. I'm going with Mel Blount. on this. So I'm going defense heavy so far. So you're offense heavy, I'm defense heavy. So we're completely on the opposite directions here.
For sure, yeah. All right. So I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get this all put in here into a doc, 2 separate docs for us. All right, so you took Mel Blunt. All right. You know what? This might be controversial, but I really don't care. I'm going to take edge rusher TJ Watt as my 3rd overall pick.
Can I be honest? I was thinking about taking him right there with my pick.
Like
I'm not even lying.
You gotta think he's like probably a top 5 player in our history, right? Like right?
He's definitely. I think he's put himself in that conversation for sure. I mean, he's done some things as an edge rusher that just very few guys in history. I mean, when your name's constantly brought up with a guy like Reggie White, I mean, you're doing something right. So I think it was a good pick, honestly.
For sure.
Man, this is so hard to break down like exactly who you want in this situation. There's just so many good damn names. It's ridiculous. I think man, I think I'm gonna have to go with my boy Hines. I love Hines Ward. I was a huge fan of Hines Ward when he was playing, and it's a shame he's not in the Hall of Fame right now. Like, that dude deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. But I'm gonna go get Hines off the board. That's kind of my nostalgia pick right now.
Okay. All right, so you took Hines Ward. Let's see. For my 4th overall pick, I am going to get the other corner. That's one of the greatest of all time. I'm going to go Rod Woodson.
I had to know he wasn't going to hang around very long.
Yeah, I mean, you had to think, right?
Yeah. Yep. I mean, that dude was. I mean, what a career! That guy had a phenomenal career. Not even just at cornerback. I mean, he turned into a really good safety too there at the end, toward the end of his career. So, great pick, man. Great pick.
Thank you.
I feel like this is pretty open here, but I think I'm gonna take the other edge rusher off the board. I'm gonna take James Harrison. I love me some James Harrison, man.
Okay.
I feel like I'm slipping into the nostalgia picks left and right now. Like I'm going down a slippery slope here, but I mean, I love James Harrison the whole time he played here, and I think he set the table.
I'm going to be completely honest. I'm going to be completely honest. That was my next pick. So.
Was it really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, dude.
I could not let you have TJ and James Harrison either. There was no way you were getting both.
Dude, I wanted my edge rushers bad. All right, so I'm going to kind of get trench heavy here. I'm going to pick, in my opinion, the greatest offensive lineman in team history, and that would be Mike Webster, center.
Yeah, he may be pushing. But is he one of the best centers of all time of just any team? I mean, he's got to be in the conversation.
I think he's best center of all time. Yeah,
I do too.
Personally.
Yeah.
But it's also tough because the Steelers have had a lot of really good offensive linemen. I mean, I guess more specifically interior, but we have had a ton of really good offensive linemen. So.
Yep. Well, then if you're going to go with the best center of all time, I'm going to go ahead and take Alan Faneca because I love me some Alan Faneca. That dude is, I think he's one of the best of all time at his position as well.
Okay. Again, you got me with my next pick. So there is that. All right. So I'm going to, I guess, go back with the defense here. I'm going to go Jack Lambert at middle linebacker.
Oh yeah. Good choice.
Give me my mic, my signal caller on defense. So
good choice. I think I'm going back to defense as well. I'm going to go Troy Polamalu.
Okay. All right. So we are on pick 7. We are on the 7th overall pick of our drafts. Alrighty. So with my 7th overall pick in my draft. So now it gets tough because it's like we've really gotten like all of our guys, if you will.
Yeah.
Guys we've been planning on for a long time now. All right. So took Heinz Ward. I got AB. All right, I am actually going to give Big Ben his second weapon, and I'm going to go Lynn Swan, wide receiver.
Another good choice.
I have a bad feeling there's going to be a lot of guys from the 70s.
Yeah, there's a spree on my list coming.
yeah,
there's a ton of really good players from the 70s.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna stick with the interior offensive line right here. I'm gonna go David DeCastro as my other guard.
I bet you are. Right, so you're gonna go David DeCastro. Well, you got a great group of guards for sure.
Yeah.
Yep, you do.
I'll take them.
You know what? I'm gonna get my next edge guy. I'm gonna load up on the edge guys. I'm actually gonna go. A lot of people could see me would probably be guessing something like Highsmith, maybe Greg Lloyd, maybe Lamar Woodley. I'm actually gonna go Kevin Green. He had
he was
fantastic year.
Man, he was on my list, dude. I swear, I didn't have any of the other guys that you mentioned on my list. Kevin Green is definitely, he was my next guy. He was my number 3 in team history. And that says a lot because there's another dude out of the 70s that still could come on that list.
I had to get him. I had to solidify. You have our 2 best guards, so I really lock in.
I'll be honest with you. I 100% fully expected you to forget about Kevin Green. Like, I was definitely just banking on him falling in this thing. Good draft, dude. That was a good pick. Thanks. That was a really good pick.
Appreciate it.
I think I'm going to start shoring up some more of my defensive line. I might as well put LC Greenwood right next to Mean Joe Green once again, man.
Yeah, another thing I knew you would do there. Yeah. All right, that's a good pick. LC Greenwood. 2, 4.
Another dude that got into the whole conversation way too late.
All right, so I am actually going to follow suit. Actually, I'm not, because I think you have both your interior guys.
I have LC listed as a D end.
Okay, so your DNs are going to be Harrison and Greenwood.
I have James as an outside linebacker.
Okay.
So I've got LC Greenwood as a D end. Mean Joe obviously is a D tackle. James Harrison outside linebacker.
Okay. All right. So then in that case, I am going to lock up pretty much the next best thing at defensive line. I'm going to go Cam Hayward.
Ooh, Cam. All right.
Yeah. I figured I wouldn't let you get the next best one.
Cam definitely was like a nostalgia pick for me too, because I've loved Cam Hayward since he was a freshman at Ohio State, and like I've followed that dude his whole career. Good pick, man.
Thanks.
I think I'm gonna have to flip this back to the other side of the ball here. I'm gonna go left tackle. John Kolb protected Terry Bradshaw throughout those Super Bowl years. And to be perfectly honest with you, our tackles have not been good throughout history. I mean, we've just said.
Yeah,
I was looking through this list. I was like, this is not a recent problem. Like,
I was just
not a ton of guys.
I was just thinking that, like, what exactly are we going to do about the tackle situation for the Steelers?
I mean, it's crazy. That was probably the hardest position is to find. I kind of wrote down 2 for each side of the offensive line, and I'm like, man, to find 4 tackles that were quality tackles throughout the history of this team is just like that's not as easy as you think it would be.
Yeah, no, and that's like it makes my job really tough now because like now I got to find a tackle that wasn't John Kolb for mine. So, but you know
I mean,
what?
to be fair, he
One
was
thing I
probably
am
one of
going.
the better offensive linemen we've had throughout our history.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. The tackle situation is going to be interesting. We might get judged for it, but I don't really care.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is take my next GOAT of this franchise, kind of one of those where I'm making sure you're not allowed to get him to pair him with Troy Polamalu. I'm going to go Minka Fitzpatrick.
All right.
Just so you don't get him with Troy. That would be not good for me. So
Mink.
Yes, sir.
Gotta love this Minka Fitzpatrick. Whew. All right. Well, since we talked about tackles being a rough spot, I'm taking Tun Shilkin. Might as well pair up another group from the 70s, right? I paired up a couple defensive linemen from the 70s. Might as well take a couple of tackles from the 70s, too.
I think Ilkin might have been. Call me crazy. I think Ilkin might have been 80s. I think that he might have been.
I think he played late. He wasn't with the Super Bowl teams. I think he played. Was he in 78, 79, and then went into the 80s? Maybe I could be wrong about that.
I know he was just one of the better guys on those really bad 80s teams.
Yeah. I couldn't remember if he caught the tail end of that Super Bowl team and then lasted through most of the 80s.
He might have been the 1980 Super Bowl team. He might have been on that team.
Okay.
Might have been on that team. I can't remember. All right. Well, you have both your tackles, so I can just wait to take those to the last, even though I don't really know who the hell I'm going to take now. Let's see. All right. Looking at my team and your team right now. I'm actually going to share. Let's see. So that is. Here are the two teams so far. I believe this is my team. Yeah, this is my team here. And that's your team here. You see trying to attack the trenches early. I kind of got the skill position guys a little early there. So there is that. It should be on mine. Yes. All right. Yeah. So I let's see. I have 5 DBs.
There's some really good DBs still on the board.
No,
honestly.
I know. That's why I'm trying to figure out.
There's some really good DBs still.
I'm trying to figure out who to pick without kind of getting trolled here. All right. So I am actually going to go with Donnie Shell. Steelers legend Donnie Shell.
That was a good pick.
Thank you.
For him being available. All right, I'm going to take this pick because not because I think he's one of the absolute best, but I think this was another position that was hard to kind of find good players for. I'm going Heath Miller at tight end.
Good pick. Unfortunately, good pick. Heath Miller. Okay. All right, so I have some interesting choices to make here. Alrighty, so that is my team. That's your team. So you did take DeCastro and
Faneca.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what are we going to do in terms of rules of like moving around interior linemen? I guess that's my question. What's kind of the rule with that? What's the ruling?
I mean, I'm cool with it. I mean, if you want to kind of makeshift some guys, who was a right guard into a left guard, I mean, that's cool, man. There's so many great names on here that it's good to get just the good names out here.
Okay.
Because left guard, honestly, to find a second left guard was another one that was pretty tough. Mm-hmm. I threw in a guy that I just really like. I don't think he's anywhere near the second best left guard, but I'll let you get your picks in before I throw his name out there. But yeah.
I think I know who you're talking about. And I think I'm going to take him. Let's see. Do you have both your? All right, so you have both your guards. All you need is a center. That should be a pretty obvious pick.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm actually going to go pretty current here. I'm actually a lot of people. The woke mafia would probably take, Franco Harris, but I'm actually going to take Le'Veon Bell.
He was on my list
just because I feel like he's just in terms of receiving back and played with Ben and kind of it can block, but also can run with patience. He's going to need a lot of patience. I'm going to have the worst offensive line out of the two of us. So I do think I think Le'Veon Bell is going to be my pick.
I like it.
Yes.
So I still got a lot of openings here. I think I'm torn between a couple different positions here because there's a couple guys that I really like. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually go back to the interior defensive line and take Ernie Stoutner.
Ernie Stoutner. Okay. Is your screen the one that's showing, by the way?
I don't see either one of them it's not showing right now.
It should be on shared screen. Oh, okay.
Yep, hold on.
Gotcha. All right,
gotcha.
Yep, gotcha.
There you go. You're in there.
So that's Trent's team. Here's my team. So far, these are the two teams. Gonna go back to Trent's here. So Trent did just take Ernie Stoutner with his defensive tackle pick. All right. All right, so I'm pretty set with that. I'm actually going to solidify my middle linebacker unit. I am going to go with Jack Ham. Kind of get both my guys from the 70s on that list there. So.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm kind of torn on where to go with this because I know you still got some defensive backs that you're going to be needing, a couple more. I think I'm going to give a little bit more recency bias to some of the old guys here, and I'm going to go probably controversial. Ike Taylor is my other corner.
Damn it, dude. I didn't know when I was going to take him, but I wanted to eventually. Take him. That's a good pick, actually.
Probably one of the very few true lockdown corners we've had in Pittsburgh history.
You're right.
Couldn't catch, but he could shadow anybody in the league. He shadowed some of the best.
Yeah, he was an absolute lockdown corner for sure. So that's your team and that's my team. Okay. I don't know, Trent. You're not going to give Terry Bradshaw anybody to throw to, are you?
Oh, we still got time.
All right.
We still got time.
Well, I am going to take one off the board from you. I am going to go, or am I? I am. I'm going to actually go with John Stallworth here.
Yep. I knew that was coming.
It was between him and Plaxico, man. I kind of wanted to go Plaxico. He had some really good years. All right.
So that should pretty well solidify your wide receiver room.
Yes, my wide receiver room is set. Yep.
Hines is on a lonely island for me out here. He's living the lonely life. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably. I mean, a lot of the stuff you don't need. I'm going to take Carnell Lake as my other safety. I know like he probably positionally doesn't technically fit with Troy Polamalu, but we're going to make it work.
That's fine. It's a DB unit, man. That's all that matters. Good pick nonetheless. Good pick nonetheless. Now your DB room is actually set.
I am set in DB. Yep.
Yes, you are set on your DB room. All right. I need a couple for myself. Let's see. What do you still need? So you're gonna still need. Are you gonna go edge or defensive end for this for your other?
So I have the way I have it drawn out is I have 2 DNs, 2 D tackles, 2 outside linebackers, 1 inside linebacker.
Okay, so is that all set
like a
there?
traditional 4-3.
Okay, yeah, mine's I guess somewhat traditional. I got 2 edge rushers, 2 defensive tackles, essentially 2 guys that I think can plug the middle as well as anyone, and then my DB unit and my 2 middle linebackers, the Jacks. Alrighty. So I'm gonna go here. And then what I'm going to do, since pretty much everybody's rooms are set, I think nothing that we need the other person needs at this point.
No, I think we're pretty much free drafting at this point. I mean, we've probably maybe DN. Do you have D? No, you have.
I need a D tackle. You need a defensive
D tackle.
end.
Yeah, yes. We're pretty much just free drafting at this point.
Yeah. Yep. Recency bias might kill me with this next pick. I'm not too sure.
I'm ready for it.
I know you are. You bastard. You know what? I'm actually going to do it, man. I am actually going to, as my second defensive tackle, I'm going to do something very controversial. And I'm going to go Stephon Tuitt.
Dude, I had him on my list.
Yeah.
It
was between him and Snacks Hampton. I didn't know what to do.
I had him on my list too, depending on how we decided to do this out. If we had traditional nose tackles, I definitely had good old Casey Hamburger in there. But Tuitt, man, you can't argue with what he did. Like that dude was as good as you get. That was a good pick. I like it a lot. So I'm going to go to the 80s because I feel like the 80s team hasn't gotten much love. I'm going to go wide receiver. I'm going to go Louis Lips.
Louis Lips? Interesting. I kind of like it. Louis Lips. What a pick. All right. Okay, so since that's all good for you, so you still need a receiver, running back, quarterback, defensive end, 2 linebackers, and a center. That is fine. I'm going to just get my first tackle out of the way. I'm going to go Marvel Smith.
He was definitely my next one off the board.
I knew a couple Pro Bowl years, so might as well just take him there.
Yep. So I'll speed this up for us a little bit here. I'm going to go ahead and take Terry Bradshaw. That would have been the
I'm sure we were all waiting for that.
Yeah, I know the people were waiting.
Yeah.
The tension was probably palpable.
I don't know, man. If you wanted to get woke on me, you could have gone Cordell Stewart too.
Listen, Cordell, he was just too early, man. He was before his time. If he'd have came around this time of the NFL, he probably would have been a little bit different of a player.
Yeah, I think about that sometimes. It's like he was like the Michael Vick before Michael Vick, the Michael Vick
really
before
was.
Lamar kind of thing.
Yeah. It was kind of like teams, Randall Cunningham kind of like really broke that mold, I felt like, as the mobile running quarterbacks that were super athletic, had the cannon and, could do all the things. And then like Stewart, they didn't know exactly what to do with him. So like they just did everything with him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, that the organization was not ready for a quarterback like that at that time, but he defended today's game really well. So
yeah,
pretty crazy.
All right, let's see. What am I going to get? You know what? I'm actually going to get one out of the way with my DBs. I'm going to go Joe Hayden.
I like Joe Hayden.
Definitely another recency bias pick, but Joe Hayden had some really nice years. Plus, realistically, looking at this specific group, he probably would be my slot corner anyway. So I really like that pick, actually.
Yep. Let's see. I think I'm going to go D end. And I'm really surprised none of us picked him before now. I went Aaron Smith.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Aaron Smith. Do you think he was better than Kiesel?
I do personally. I like Kiesel a lot also, but I really think Aaron Smith. I think Stephon Tuitt kind of reminded me a lot of Aaron Smith when he came around. I know, like the bigger, taller guys at that position. That, you know what I mean? Like, they weren't typically the tall guys until those guys kind of came along, and now of course they're like all over the place. You see like Calais Campbell, he came into the league at like 6'8", you know what I mean? So playing a little bit of that inside edge TN type role sometimes. So I saw a lot of similarities in the two of those. So I really liked Aaron Smith a lot.
Yeah. Okay. All righty.
Getting down to the last handful now, Colin. We're getting close.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what to do here. Let's see. All right, so that's your team. All right, so here's my team. So I'm kind of at a crossroads with my DBs right now, to where I'm like, okay, let's see, with Minka and Donnie Shell and Joe Hayden. You know what? I'm gonna go with Ryan Clark as my other DB. I was really thinking about going Deshae Townsend because I really liked Deshae Townsend, but I didn't know if maybe Ryan Clark. I feel like Minka's best years have been with like a glorified linebacker as the other safety. So I feel like Ryan Clark would have been better than if I were to put like Donnie Shell at safety or something like that. I don't know. In terms of like schematically speaking, I don't think any of our defenses make sense. But I think Ryan Clark was the better player than Deshae Townsend, so I'm just going to go with that and call it a day.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm a little torn on this. I'm gonna make the easy pick for now because I cannot decide where I want to go inside linebacker here. I'm gonna go Dermontti Dawson.
Okay. Damn, Dermontti Dawson. You know, one fun fact about Dermontti Dawson, I was actually going to ask you about this, but now it's out the window. I'm pretty sure he played his first season or two at guard. His first few, maybe. I don't know.
Did he?
Yes, I'm going to look that up and see if I could screen share that. Dermontti Dawson. All right, let's take a look here. Is it showing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hall of Fame, 7 Pro Bowl. Okay, so it was just the 1 year.
Just the 1 year. Interesting. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't remember where I learned that. I don't know. Me and my one buddy were talking about like, you know, just the Steelers kind of like the incredible so we were actually talking. This was a few days ago, and I think it'll be funny for the audience too. Is that like we had this talk about like how the Steelers have had so many just absurd interior linemen, but so many dog shit tackles.
Yes.
Like how weird that is. Like we've just had like we've had like probably like 8 Hall of Fame level offensive linemen in the interior, but
Yeah.
have we even had like a Hall of? Did Tunch Ilkin make the Hall of Fame yet?
Kolb did, I think.
Okay, okay. It's just
I don't know if Tunch did or not.
it's so interesting to me.
Yeah, because I'll be honest with you, I was looking at that list. I'm like, there's literally like there's nobody, like nobody, and I don't know where you'll go with your last pick, at tackle, but it's a tough one.
2-time Super Bowl.
So yeah, Tunch was inducted into the Pittsburgh Steelers Hall of Honor,
but
I'm not seeing that he was ever inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy. So we had one guy in the entire organization's history, as a tackle, which is wild.
Yeah, I'm gonna be finding myself with a lot of 2000s offense. My offense is very 2000s.
Yeah,
and then my defense is very 70s, 80s, 90s, except for like a couple guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so that's my team currently. Let's go to trends here.
Are you trying to share? Because I think I got to add it back to the stage.
I think
there you go.
I have it shared. Yeah.
It went down for a second, so I just put it back up there. So I'm going to do my surprise pick at running back. And I'm a little surprised that neither of us are going to draft Franco Harris.
Do it.
I'm going Jerome Bettis.
Damn, I was really kind of hoping you go like Willie Parker.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't get that far. Jerome Bettis, man, I loved watching that dude run. I think that was more of a actually got to sit and watch him play, where Franco was already kind of done by the time I got to be watching football. But man, Jerome Bettis was so much fun to watch. And I don't know if Lowry's watching, but man, sorry that he trucked your entire Chicago Bears defense on the way into the end zone. Urlacher specifically. I just love Jerome Bettis, man.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I haven't given much rationale as to why I did pick Le'Veon over Franco, and Bettis, and Franco was easier than Bettis was. For me, it was like, was Franco a running back, a full
yeah, he played
like
a little bit of both.
Like when you automatically had like off the rip, Silverback, Elsa Greenwood, Mean Joe Green. I'm like, dude, this Franco clown's gonna run for like 1.4 yards a carry. I'm gonna be throwing the ball 58 times. Like I didn't see the upside of that, so I feel like I could get a little with the Le'Veon Bell. And people forget, man, Le'Veon Bell was fucking unreal for like 3 years. He was an absurd player, man. Part of me did kind of want to say, fuck it, let's just go Willie Parker, because he had 2 incredible years with us. So, but yeah, it was a lot easier to say no to Franco than it was to Bettis. But maybe I'm just thinking because maybe Bettis' career with Pittsburgh was, well, I guess he did play most of his career with us. So
he played a large portion of it.
Yeah, I think he only played 3 years in LA.
Yeah, and then they traded him to us. It was kind of like a big shock. So
yeah.
Yep.
All right. Then I'm going to go back to my team here. This might be ridiculous to some, but I don't think it is. I'm going to go Isaac Seumalo with my
I like it.
left guard. My right guard, I have someone saved up for you, and it's nice and cute, but I'm going to go Seumalo. So,
is your right guard from a much older generation?
It is not.
Oh, okay. All right. I had one written down from a pretty I think he played in the 60s that I was interested in.
Interesting.
I did. Inside linebacker.
Oh, I got the killer bee, so I automatically win, by the way.
Let me know what you think about this, because I think this one's going to be a bit controversial. I'm taking Levon Kirkland as my inside linebacker. I think if Ferrier's out there, there's probably a lot of Ferrier fans that would have been.
I'm a Ferrier fan. I'm like
all over that. Levon Kirkland was like 270 pounds and ran like a 220-pound gazelle.
All right. Hey man, I don't judge. But I am gonna judge. Why the hell didn't you get James Ferrier?
I had him down too.
Okay.
Kirkland's another one of my listen, Kirkland is going to take whoever your tight end is down the field, no problem.
I don't know. I'm going to get a pretty good
and shut down your run game.
I'm going to have a pretty gimmicky tight end, so.
Okay.
You just wait, pal.
I'm waiting.
I like it. I do like it. Yeah, I'm just going to give up who my right guard is. I'm actually going to go Ramon Foster.
Yeah.
He had
I had him written down actually for my left guard if I didn't have Faneca.
Well, what screwed me is that you got DeCastro and Faneca. So I was like, because I was thinking like before this draft, I'm like, all right, so I'm probably gonna have to end up with like either Sayamalo or Daniels or something. But you ended up like you got what fucking Faneca and DeCastro like your 5th and 7th picks. I was like, oh shit. Like
I identified the weak areas of this draft and I attacked them early.
Yeah, you did get offensive line early.
Outside linebacker. Still so many good options. I'm looking at Greg Lloyd.
Yeah, that would have been my pick too. Yeah, I like that. I respect that pick, Trent. That would have been mine too. All right, Greg Lloyd here. All right, so it is last but not least pick. I am going to end it off with Pat Freiermuth.
Pat
Muth, baby. Big Ben's gonna love this team. Ben, I hope you're watching, pal. I did this for you, buddy.
Oh, now down to my final wide receiver.
Yes, that would be
so.
Correct.
I'm going to be. This will be interesting to hear your reaction to this one.
God,
it is not going to be Plaxico, who you called out earlier.
There's one more.
Mike Wallace.
Okay.
I'm going to put a burner on there. I got Hines. I got Louis Lips that can run underneath. Mike Wallace is going to be the burner downfield.
Well, old Terry better be able to throw it to him that far.
I mean, he threw it to the other guys plenty. I mean, he was a deep shot, quarterback.
No, you're right.
He can get it there.
Damn, that's great. So we really do, like, realistically looking at this draft, we have a draft without, let's see all these key guys, just off the top of my head. So if you look at this, so obviously it's going to be fixated on Trent's team because I'm just thinking right now. So we have a draft without James Ferrier.
Yep.
Santonio Holmes.
Santonio, correct.
Benny Cunningham.
Yep, I had him written down as
Franco.
One of my guys. Franco. Rocky Blyer.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know where you put him in that list. There's a lot of good running backs. That was a tough one to find.
I would probably have Willie Parker over Rocky Blyer.
Yeah.
I might have Mendenhall over Blyer.
Marquise Pouncey.
Yeah, Pouncey.
Not on the list.
Yep,
I mean, Pouncey's a hell of a diamond to not make that list. That's a tough one.
William Gay didn't make it somehow. I figured somebody would just take him for the fuck of it.
So my other backup guard that I had, Shazier. Yeah. I thought about throwing Shazier out there, but I didn't know because of his time in the league how you would have felt about that one. Shazier was another one of my boys. He's my Buckeye.
Yeah.
Jerry Mullins was a guy from the 60s as a guard that I had on my list too.
Yeah, you got me, pal.
I tried to go back on some of these guys to try to not be so much into the recency bias. I mean, there's a lot of really good names. Dwight White was another guy I had as a defensive end. Casey Hampton never didn't make anybody's list.
Yeah, Kiesel didn't either.
Kiesel, dude, this was a tough list to come up with and narrow down.
There's just so many great players for this. It's a good problem to have for sure.
Yeah.
It's a great problem to have. I guess my mentality kind of coming into this was like, whatever I can do to try and get Ben and just conform to whatever the hell Ben would want. Honestly,
yeah.
Like this is kind of me and my Ben team. I did want to build myself.
Well, dude, I mean, look at your receiver group. You got AB, Lynn Swan, John Stallworth, all in the same room. I mean, that's pretty crazy.
Yep. And then, I mean, I definitely won't be running the ball a whole lot. Good luck to your defense, seeing all the Le'Veon and Muth screens and gimmicky shit. I'm definitely gonna have Todd Haley. So yeah, no, this is
Haley's calling the plays. Okay, I'll take Dick LeBeau then. How's that?
But yeah, that's this is definitely a good time. Again, it's a good problem to have with your franchise having so many just absurd players to James Ferrier would be the first middle linebacker off the board for Atlanta.
Yeah.
New Orleans or something, I'm sure. Yeah, really good draft.
I was interested to see how high TJ Watt went on this list for us. I mean, he's overall. He's definitely going to be a guy who goes down as one of the greatest Steelers of all time.
Oh yeah, and he's got another 3 years in the league too. He's easily going to be. I mean, obviously, Mean Joe's kind of 1-1, been pretty much undisputedly 1-1 in this franchise.
Yeah,
I'd be interested to see. I mean, because you got Ben, Bradshaw, Palomalu, Jack Lambert, excuse me. I mean, Faneca's probably up there. Webster's definitely. Big Ben, obviously. Antonio Brown. I mean, I don't know. That'd be interesting. I would say TJ Watt already, as we sit right now, is probably top 10, right?
Oh yeah,
probably close to 8
for sure.
Yeah, definitely already top 10.
And he's working his way up that list. I mean,
he'll be at 5 in no time. Yeah, he'll be at 5 in no time. He's already passed up James Harrison probably 2 years ago. So
yeah, for sure. This was actually a lot of fun, man. It was more challenging than I was expecting it to be, but it was a lot of fun. I had a good time with this.
Dude, it hit that time period it hit that point when I think after you took Tunch Ilkin, when I was just what am I gonna do with this line? I was like, oh, this line is fucking dead.
Well, it was like you said, the interior is so much better historically than the outside tackles. The two tackles, is so far downhill once you get past.
We don't have a single tackle.
The top guy.
That is ridiculous that we don't have a single tackle in the Hall of Fame. I mean, maybe we do from 1930, but it's ridiculous. We don't have a single tackle in the Hall of Fame. I'm gonna look that up real quick. Steelers Hall of
Kolb. Yeah, Kolb. I don't think he got in either. Actually, I thought he was in there, but he's in the Hall of Honor. But
Bro, you're telling me Reference doesn't have a...
He doesn't look like he's in the Hall of Fame either. Wow. Not one single freaking guy on a franchise with just a historically large number of Hall of Fame players. That's incredible.
Walt Kessling, guard and tackle from 37 to 38, but he made it as a coach.
Jesus.
Does that even count?
No, that's a coach. You're not a tackle.
That's ridiculous.
It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. I mean, as I mean, who else did you have as backups? I mean, I had Larry Brown, a converted tight end. Like,
Larry Brown. Yeah, Larry Brown, because he like caught a pass in the Super Bowl, didn't he?
yeah, he caught a touchdown pass from Bradshaw in the Super Bowl, and then had I believe it was a knee injury, and he couldn't move the same, and Noel decided to put him at tackle.
Oh yeah, by the way, I call Chuck Noll.
Do you think I'm taking Tomlin?
Fuck no, you better take Cowher.
We're taking the chin.
Yeah, you better take Cowher.
Does that mean I get to pick our specialist? I'm taking Danny Smith all day.
Oh, you lucky dude. All right, I'll take Tom. I think Tom was a special teams coach in Minnesota or some shit. I'll take him.
There you go.
Damn it, give me Boswell and Dan Sepulveda. You could take Gary Anderson and fucking Brad Wing or whatever.
I love it. I'm going to take Cordell Patterson to be my exclusive kick returner since he played so well this year.
I'll take Jacoby Jones.
Oh, dude.
Kind of shocked Sammy Coates didn't make this list. Whatever. What are these clowns doing, man?
Yeah. He plays better with broken fingers than he does with a good set of hands.
Marcus fucking Wheaton, too.
Yeah.
Absolute snub from the list.
Listen, can I just try to understand how a dude could go off for like 200 and like, what do you have, 244 yards in one game or 270 some yards in one game, and then like never shows up for the, like, he never has another game like over 70 yards or whatever it was.
He was a good 3. Like,
yeah, he was
a good 3, but the problem is
that's not what he was drafted to be.
Right, and also when Marty B ended up getting suspended for the 39th time, it was like, shit. Well, now Marcus Wheaton's our 2. Like, it was just, and then I think we had to draft Juju the year after.
Yep.
I think Wheaton finished the season in 16 as our 2, so we had to draft Juju in 17 or something like that. Or no, Bryant played the beginning of 2017, I believe. Yeah, because I remember he caught a TD pass against the Vikings, and then I think Juju kind of had to come in after that because he got suspended or hurt, and that's when Eli Rogers came along. Yeah, I think that's.
If Martavis Bryant ever got his self under control, you think he was on this list?
Too many good receivers, man. I don't think so. I mean, he would have probably been like fringe, like close. Like he would have been in like maybe the Plaxico conversation, but I don't think he would have ever been like AB, Lynn Swan, John Stallworth, Hines Ward, Santonio Holmes. Kind of it's those 5 and then a big time drop off. Then you're kind of approaching Plaxico, Wallace, Louis Lips.
See, I think he would have eventually taken over. I think he would have climbed over.
Would he have been better than Deontay?
I think he would have. I mean, he was on that pace. Like he had wide receiver 1 upside with just couldn't get out of his own way kind of attitude. Like he was very immature. I mean, it was unfortunate what happened with him because it's just the what if is always going to be there for him.
Well, he was just kind of an immature guy in an immature locker room.
Yeah. And it's kind of carried over to today. I mean, that's kind of where I feel like our locker room's at right now. And
common denominator, pal.
Yeah. At some point, like I honestly thought maybe you can. I mean, I don't want to dive too far into the Tomlin stuff right now, but like I feel like Arthur Smith was supposed to be more of an authoritarian type guy and a little bit more stringent. And I thought he would kind of like do some of the things that Tomlin doesn't do. But like, I don't know, man. I still feel like we have a lot of the same problems, with Pickens this year that we would have had last year or year before. And it's almost like it doesn't matter who it is because the head coach is the guy allowing these things to go on. And he always talks about treating guys differently. Like, I don't know, man. It's kind of interesting. No accountability in that wide receiver room. Hasn't been for a long time. I mean, AB posting the videos in the locker room. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Who knows?
Well, man, I don't have too much more for us on this one, unless you wanted to dive into anything else. I mean, we're getting into the combine stuff. I know Omar Khan, good Lord, talked today. So I don't know if you wanted to cover any of that. Save that for another episode later on.
I mean, I got nothing. Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely. I mean, this is pretty much just a episode in which we drafted all-time teams. So I don't. In terms of the con stuff, a lot of the off-season stuff, I kind of want to wait till when does free agency start again?
March 10th.
Okay, March 10th.
And March 10th.
And then is the combine this week?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
This week,
so
right?
it's this week. So I think D-line, is it D-line? D-line goes day 1 on Thursday. Receivers and running backs, I think, are Friday. I think quarterbacks maybe are Saturday. And then I think it's the big boys on Sunday, the offensive guys, the offensive line. Is it receivers? Maybe it's I got one of it wrong somewhere. Quarterbacks and receivers maybe are Saturday. Maybe it's running backs and cornerbacks. I don't know. I'd seen it earlier. I can't remember exactly the way it's laid out, but I do know it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because they started the media stuff today. That was the first day of the media stuff with the GMs. Like I think most of the GMs were there except for like San Francisco. John Lynch wasn't there. A couple others I think weren't there, but they'll be diving into more of this stuff coming on Thursday. It's really when it opens up. So this is when the rumor mill really starts flowing. Oh my gosh, Colin and I talked to a guy on the sideline after he ran a 40-yard dash. He's going to be the first round pick. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. Do you watch a lot of the combine?
Yes.
Dude, I love it. It's obviously on a lot when I'm working Thursday and Friday, but yeah, I mean, I really enjoy watching it. It's crazy to watch what some of these guys can do. How much stock do you really put into like some of the measurements that come out of this? Like, do you think it should drastically change guys' draft positions?
Completely just depends on the position. Completely depends on the position. I think athletically speaking, I would say I think corner, receiver, running back, somewhat offensive line, I think certain positions the combine means more than others, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's interesting kind of how it goes. And some guys, you think this receiver is going to run a 4.4 and they end up running a 4.6. Like, should that drop them 2 full rounds when their production was what it was in college? I don't know. But it's just kind of interesting, like how teams take so much stock into this. Quarterbacks, man, I don't think. I mean, it does obviously affect their draft stock, but I don't think it should. I mean, you're throwing in shorts and a t-shirt with no rush. I don't know. That's kind of the position that throws me every year.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's certain position it means more, and relative athletic combine means relative athletic score. That's what it means to me. From a numbers and an analytics perspective, our combine equals RAS, relative athletic score. Your relative athletic score is a lot more important for, say, corners, probably the lineman positions, probably linebackers, off-ball linebackers, probably edge rushers, running backs, not as much quarterbacks. Because every obviously, quarterbacks have a lot more anomalies than some of these other positions.
Yeah.
There's no unicorns at the offensive line. There's not.
Right.
You're not going to see a fucking 6'2", 270 tackle tearing up the league because there's no unicorns at that
Yeah.
position. There's no unicorns on the defensive line. There's no unicorns at corner. You know, Kamari Lassiter had a deceivingly good season for the Texans this year. His RAS score was like 4 point something. That's one unicorn. But
right.
yeah. But then again, it's also something you don't want to get super hung up on either. So I don't know. It's fun.
Yeah.
I like the combine. I think a lot of it too is being able to, for coaches, GMs, front office guys, scouts, etc., to kind of see who these guys are in person, interview with them, see what they are as a person. I think that's huge as well. So
yeah, I think that's the biggest piece for
Yep.
them, especially answering
in
some of
terms
the
of mock
crazy
drafting.
questions.
In terms of mock drafting, you know, combine's important, but also, you know, once you get in the top 30 visits and stuff like that is when it really gets, when you can really start to lock down who it might be.
Yeah,
So.
for sure. For sure. All right, man. Well, that's all I had for this evening. This was a lot of fun. I don't know that we'll ever do this one again, particularly, but it was a lot of fun. So no use to doing that twice, but it was kind of interesting just to see the names that were on the list, names that got left off the list. So appreciate you coming on as usual and doing that.
Yeah, sounds good at all.
Cool.
All right. Well, I
We'll have
appreciate
to get together again soon. For everybody watching, as always, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, so you can see when we're coming on. And we'll come up with some more good stuff as the combine comes. The rumor mill starts to flow, and we'll have a lot of good stuff to talk about. Maybe we'll start to pick apart some different position groups and talk about guys that we liked as we see them through the combine, and some guys that stand out to us.
Cool. Sounds good.
All right, man. Well, appreciate you coming on. Have a good evening.
All right. You too, man.
Thanks.